Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I always appreciate you. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic movie review. This is my review of a classic from 1994, one of my all-time favorite action films, celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, James Cameron's True Lies. This is his third collaboration with superstar, megastar, one of the ultimate greatest action stars of all time, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the role of Harry Tasker. In this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is a U.S. government spy who suspects his wife, played by Jamie Lee Curtis in the role of Helen, just might be cheating on him. You also got Bill Paxton in this movie, Tom Arnold. You got a small part for the great Charlton Heston. You got Art Malik, a young Elijah Dushku, and Tia Carrere is also in this movie. And yeah, Arnold as a spy is a lot of fun. And in this movie, it's more of a mix of not just action adventure, but also a little bit of romantic comedy in there. I understand this movie is based on a French film. I believe that James Cameron and Arnold really liked the premise, and so they just kind of added their own flavor to it. This movie also features character actor Art Malik, who was most recently in the live action Disney remake of The Little Mermaid, and he was also in the 1987 James Bond film The Living Daylights, playing an ally to Bond in that film. And in this film, he gets to play the main bad guy, the main heavy, who goes by Salim Abu Aziz, who also has the nickname of the Sand Spider. And this is a very fun villain. There's so much fun to be had with this movie, with Arnold's character Harry blowing up shit in classic Arnold fashion, and Arnold taking out bad guys on skis and snowmobiles left and right. And later on, we see a very awesome chase with Arnold on horseback riding through the streets of what they call River City, chasing a bad guy who's riding a motorcycle, and they just go through the streets and go through like a hotel, and they take an elevator, and then they end up on the roof of a building, and it gets really batshit nuts. So much fun action in this movie. Then when Arnold's character Harry isn't chasing down bad guys and terrorists, he's actually surveilling his wife, who he suspects is having an affair, and it turns out to be Bill Paxton might be the guy that she's having an affair with. And there's more to it than that. I don't want to give away the surprises, but it's a lot of fun, that segment of the film. Some people might feel like that segment slows the movie down, but I personally really love that part of the movie. As a matter of fact, I think the entire movie is action comedy gold. There's so many great one-liners from Arnold in the movie. Tom Arnold steals the show every now and then with his funny little bits, since he is the comedic relief. Because this movie is a 1990s Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie with Arnold in his prime, I think a lot of action fans, especially younger fans, will enjoy this movie. But I do want to warn parents out there that even though this is an action movie, there's some stuff in there that might be inappropriate for younger viewers in terms of some racy stuff, a lot of adult humor. And as a young kid back in the day, I got away with watching a lot of this stuff because I had cool parents. So I was lucky. But, if you're one of those types of parents that has to censor your kids, make sure they're not watching something too racy, you prefer your action movies more on the PG side, don't show this to your kids. They're only going to want to pause it in certain scenes, like a young Orlando once did. There was that one scene, y'all know what I'm talking about. You get a real sweet action sequence that opens the movie, and then you get a real nice action sequence later on, around I think the end of the first act or the beginning of the second act. But you get to the third act after there's quite a bit of story involving the cheating stuff, the surveillance stuff. And then once you get to the third act, the action picks up again. Then it's just like non-stop for like 40 minutes straight, and it gets really, really crazy with Arnold flying a Harrier jet and blowing up bridges. Yeah, this movie is truly awesome. It is another James Cameron masterpiece that holds up well to this day in terms of the action and the execution. Story is a lot of fun. But if I have any nitpicks about the movie, it's got to be the same nitpick I have about a lot of action movies from this era, which is you see the stuntman's face quite a bit throughout this movie. It's very obvious that, Arnold is letting somebody else do some of the heavy lifting, the heavier lifting in many of the big action scenes. And so, you do see his face a lot when he's fighting, but every now and then when it involves like a big stunt, you're definitely going to notice a stuntman here and there in a few scenes. And so that's kind of my little nitpick that I have with a lot of action movies from this era. I understand there might be some people out there that kind of thing might ruin the experience for them, but growing up in the 80s and 90s, that kind of thing was kind of common in our action movies, and so it doesn't really bother me, it doesn't take me out of the movie all that much. Sometimes, every now and then, it might just a little. But for the most part, it doesn't really hurt the overall experience because everything in the movie in terms of, again, the action set pieces, just the one-liners, and the overall dialogue between all the characters, and even the chemistry between Curtis and Schwarzenegger, everything is firing on all cylinders, and James Cameron is in top James Cameron form with how he moves the camera and the music score by Brad Fiedel, who also scored the first Terminator movies. Everything here is cinema gold, action gold, and True Lies is one of the greatest action films of all time. 1994's True Lies is a movie that, if you're an action fan and you're big into action movies, definitely check this one out. This is one of the best you'll ever see. No lying. That's right. See what I did there? Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you watching. I appreciate you hanging out with me for another classic movie review. If you're like me, if you love movies, if you like classics, if you're new to the channel, hit the bell, become a subscriber. Please don't forget to comment, share, like, always helps out the channel. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for your support. I always appreciate it. Everybody take care of each other. Peace out. Till next time, and God bless.